No, I mean.
Oh. I think it is.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Southeast Missouri State University webcast. My name is Ishraq Al-Kabbaz.
And my name is Kevin Timlin. To introduce myself, I am the Executive Director of International Education and Services here at Southeast Missouri State University. And first off, thank you to everybody out there who is tuning into this private chat. We hope this will be an informative hour. We've got 60 minutes with you. We're going to do our best to fill up that time to talk to you about why Southeast is the right choice for your educational goals and aspirations. We're going to talk a lot about the different programs, the admission process, but also one of the things that we really want to spend some time talking about are our new merit-based scholarships for international undergraduate students. So we're going to talk about all of those things, and as you are aware, this is an interactive chat. So we've got our computer monitor right here. For anybody who wants to type in a question, we would be happy to answer them. So thanks again for tuning in. It's bright and early here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We are 6 o'clock in the morning, but Eshraq and I are bright and cheerful, and we're happy to have this opportunity to talk with you.
Yes, we are. So let's start with why Southeast. So we do a lot here at Southeast, and we are very student-focused. So we care about the students, and that's why we are here. So to tell you more or a little bit about our classes and the environment that you will see at Southeast. So 90% of our faculty members are doctoral degree holders. So you are not going to go to a class that have just a bachelor's degree professor or master. Many of our or most of our professors have their highest degree, and they are very involved in their fields. They do research, they go to conference, they get up to date in their field. So you get to receive the updated information in the program that you will study. Also, you have the benefit of having, smaller classes that you get to interact with your professors, get to know them, and they get to know you by name, and also get to know your classmates. So it's not a big classroom that you will sit with 100 or over 100 students and you don't get to know anyone. It is very interactive, and you know your professors by name, and they know you by name too. So the ratio for our classes is, for each professor, we get about 21 students. And also, most of our programs, or all of our programs, offer internship. That there are more internships than what the students take advantage of. So when you get here, you will have the opportunity to do internship, a practicum, and to experience some of what you have studied in your program and put it into experience, and also that way you can get it in your resume when you apply for jobs afterward.
And if I can add a few things, Eshraq, those are all great points and important aspects of why a person would want to choose Southeast. But just to expand on that a little bit, one thing that makes us unique in the United States is that the president of our university came to the United States as an international student himself. So he is originally from Mexico. That's a picture of him right there, Dr. Carlos Vargas. He came to the United States for his education and was able to stay and work his way up through university administration. And he became the president here 2 years ago. And I mention this because it's important for you to understand that U.S. universities are predominantly U.S. students. It makes sense, right? That the majority of people who come and they apply and they go through student services and they live in the residence halls and they go through the process, those students are all well aware of what the U.S. educational system is and what the culture is. International students have a little bit more of a difficult time during the transition, figuring out how school works, how to interact with faculty members, what kind of policies. Well, we have the ability, because of him, to make those changes to be accepting and accommodating for international students. Not many universities are able to say that. A lot of people say that they put a focus on international student services and support, but when our leader has that understanding and that knowledge, and he is as committed to international education as he is, that makes us an incredibly warm and welcoming environment for international students. So we think that's something that makes us unique and helps the international students when they are here to achieve their academic goals. Another thing that Eshraq pointed out was on the infographic there, it says that 100% of our programs offer internship, study abroad, clinical opportunities, student teaching, or research assistantship. So we're very invested in real-world educational experiences. We want you, when you finish here at Southeast, to not just have the degree, but have experiences that you can put on your resume that make you stand out, relationships with faculty members that help you get great letters of recommendation. And we say that you can come here and learn to be a leader. Many of you probably already are leaders yourselves, but in this context, you have the ability, if you want to step up and accept responsibility, if you want to work hard, if you want to go that extra mile, there is absolutely no stopping you where you can go from Southeast. And I'll give you a couple of examples. We're a regional public university. We're about 100 miles south of St. Louis, right on the Mississippi River. We're in a small community, but it's a wonderful educational learning community. We don't have national ranking. We're not in the top 100 of the U.S. In terms of universities. But we have amazing academic programs with amazing real-world experiential opportunities. And back to these examples. So I'll give you 3 examples of international students who graduated from here last year. One got into medical school at the University of Missouri in Kansas City. Now, if any of you are interested in pre-med, you may be interested to know that an international student getting accepted into a medical school in the U.S., an MD program, is incredibly rare. There's a million students, international students in the U.S. right now, and maybe 100 or 150 will be accepted into medical programs each year. So it is really, really difficult, but I'm happy to say that we had a student last year get admitted into a medical program. We had one student in our engineering physics program. I think his focus was on biomedical. He was accepted into the University of Texas Medical Research PhD program straight from his undergraduate. And that's the University of Texas Medical Research Center is a top 10 worldwide medical research institution. And we had another student in international studies who was admitted into the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies Master Program, again, a top 5 institution. So those are just 3 examples that I'm telling you that they came here, they worked hard, they established great relationships with their faculty members, they got involved in student activities, they learned to become leaders on campus, and then their resume was built to such an extent that they were outstanding candidates. They had great relationships with their faculty members, so those letters of recommendation were really stellar. And they had the academic and research opportunities and real-world experiences that made them can't-miss candidates at these highly ranked graduate institutions. And that's just the academic side of it. I could tell you many other stories about employment, about the different opportunities our students have had with OPT and other things from graduating. But I hope that those examples kind of tell the story about who we are as an institution and why you would want to choose Southeast. That the analogy that I use quite often is, if you think of a lake or a pond or a body of water, that sometimes if you're an exceptional student and you go to a highly ranked institution, you're going to be a really tiny fish in that large pond. And that's not to say that great things can't happen there and wonderful experiences happen. But at a place like Southeast, you can be a much bigger fish in that pond, in a smaller pond. And you can really stand out. You can really take advantage of opportunities. And that's the kind of place that we are. If you're a person who wants to accept responsibility, work hard, and make the most of your university experience, there's no telling where you can go from here. So just kind of wanted to add that to that slide.
And I can add to that from personal experience that my sister is here with me, and she's very shy, but she's really into medical and research and everything, and she want to be a doctor in the future. But she's that shy person. And I think interacting with the professors here at the university and joining the leadership program and different activities really put her out of her comfort zone, to the way now that she is going to present, hopefully, in a conference about the research that she's doing about cancer cells. And she's really hoping that she will be able to do it. But that's a proof that from where she was, that shy person that really wanted to do something but couldn't do it because of her personality, but encouragement from professors that really saw the potential in her, and also joining the different programs within the university, puts her in a position now that she's doing something different. And that's what we are hoping, that you will come and do, see the different opportunities that you will have here at Southeast, and take advantage of those that will lead you to something bigger in the future.
And just I think this is a very important point, because again, that question is why Southeast, and there's multiple reasons, and I think it's important to illustrate these. This may be something that's in the PowerPoint a little bit later down the line, but I mentioned that we're a medium-sized university of about 12,000 students. We have 800 international students, but we're in a town of about 40,000 people. So we're not a big metropolitan area. We're a small community. We're right on the banks of the Mississippi River, but the university is the main thing in our town. The community is warm and welcoming to all students, but especially international students. And the university is really kind of like a little city in and of itself. So you have a lot of different departments. You have a lot of different administrative areas and buildings and services. And we have great opportunities for international students to work as student workers on campus. And the idea behind student employment while you are a student on an F1 visa is you're not going to make enough money as a student worker working part-time to finance your whole education. You need to have the funds to support yourself, whether through scholarship or through your families or whatever kind of sponsorship to be here. But student employment definitely helps. You get paid for your work, but it's an opportunity for you to learn the organizational culture. It's an opportunity for you to share your culture with people who work in those different departments. And it's that first step in becoming a leader on campus. You understand what it means to take on responsibility and to develop that resume and get great relationships. So we really pride ourselves on the number of student employment opportunities that you have here. Obviously, not every single person is able to get a job, but I would say that probably about 60% of our international students have some kind of an employment opportunity. And if you don't get it in your first year, it's much easier in the second or third year. In addition to that, I would say that there are multiple international student associations or student groups. And it's not just international. It's we have all kinds of groups on campus that cater to special interests, whether it's athletics or academics or volunteer or business, or maybe it's a cultural group. And inside each one of these student organizations, again, are leadership opportunities. We need people to stand up and take responsibility for running these groups. And so coming along with that is you get management experience by managing your group. You get administrative experience by understanding how budgets work and putting on events and doing different things. You get marketing experience because you figure out how to promote all these different activities. And again, it's leadership opportunities that you can develop while you're here. And so whether it's through student employment or student organizations, again, multiple opportunities for you to develop your leadership skills and become that big fish in a small pond.
And I was an international student myself. At that time, I tried to participate as much as I could. And I was the public relation officer in one group and a leader in another one. So those positions, even if they are little, you do a lot in those positions, and you gain that experience or skills that you can use in the future. You can use it when you apply, for jobs that, I used to do this kind of job or skills. You gain skills. So you improve yourself. You might have those skills, but you never use them. So that's an opportunity also for you to use the skills or to develop a new ones.
And again, just a reminder for anybody out there, feel free to text in any questions that you might have. We'll do our best to answer them.
Culinary school.
So there's a question that came on. I want to know about culinary school.
Facebook.
Oh, from Facebook. Okay. Yeah. We do not have a program specific to culinary school, but what we do have is a bachelor's degree in hospitality management. So as I understand the hospitality management program, it gets into a little bit of the culinary arts, but it's a much broader perspective on the whole hospitality management, whether it's hotels and restaurants and all of those different things. So if you are someone who is interested in a degree in the culinary arts, if you're interested in becoming a chef, usually there's more technical types of programs that you would get that experience. But again, so our program is more specific to the whole field of hospitality management. Is that how you would understand that program? And I would preface this too by saying that we have approximately 200 different programs of study on campus. So I cannot speak definitively on the aspects of every single one of them, but we're certainly well versed in a lot of them, and so that's my understanding of the culinary or the hospitality management program.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the requirements for the application, so we can talk more about the scholarship. So as an international student, you would need a minimum GPA of 2.0 out of 4. But let me say, working at the admission team, we receive application from international students that have really higher GPA than 2.0. It's just that's the minimum that we accept. But the typical GPA that we receive is like 2.5 through 3.5. So that's the range that we always receive our applicants pull from.
And I would say too that you're right that is the absolute minimum requirement. You're not eligible for any kind of financial aid unless you have a GPA of 2.5 or higher. So again, you could be admitted if you have a GPA between 2.0 and 2.49, but you're not going to be eligible for any kind of scholarships unless you have at least a 2.5.
So the next step that you would need to do is fill out the application form. We really prefer the online application while you have the paper option, but the online application is much faster. It's even allow us to process your application and give you a decision in a timely manner and faster than the paper application. So if you go to our website, www.cimo.edu/international, then future students, you will see all the steps that you need and all the documents that you need to prepare before you fill out the online application. You also would need to pay the application fee, $40, You need to show us affidavit support and bank statement so we can, once you are admitted, we can issue your I-20 to get your visa. Also, you would need your official transcript and official English proficiency. And if you are a freshman, first-time student, a freshman, undergraduate, you can submit an official transcript and an official test score, and we will be able to review it and admit you or make a decision based on that. Once you are admitted, you will be required to send us the official documents. And we also need a copy of your passport just to make sure that your name in every document we have for you and your I-20, if you are admitted, is the same as your passport, so you get everything the same and you can get your visa, because that's very important. So this is the cost that we have for our undergraduate and graduate. So we have our English intensive program and undergraduate at the same cost, and the graduate is different. So you would need to show us at least 24,500 in your bank statement or higher. So when you are admitted, we can issue your I-20, and we are very affordable. If you compare us to other schools, we are very affordable in terms of cost and also living of expenses and everything. We're a small town, so it's cheaper than if you would go to a bigger cities.
And to point out a few things too, that these are based on this year's tuition costs. So we're currently in the 2017-2018 academic year. In the U.S., our academic year runs from August until May. Every year, though, in May or the beginning of June, our Board of Regents votes to what the tuition rate will be for next year. So sometimes there may be some incremental increases. So it's really hard for us to say at this point what the cost of attendance will be next year, but it will always be within like 1 or 2 percentage points of what we're showing there. And the other thing is, as we've mentioned a couple of times, we have a lot of new, very generous, very attractive merit-based scholarships. These numbers that you would be demonstrated to show funds for are before we calculate any financial aid for you. So if you're available or if you're eligible for any of the kind of scholarships that we offer, you would be able to reduce that number that you're demonstrated to show that you have based on whichever scholarship you get.
And that leads us to the scholarship information that we have. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure. So this is just kind of a useful infographic to show you what our new scholarships are. So there are 4 levels of scholarships now. Again, they're all merit-based. So it's important to understand that there's no additional application process for any of these awards. We will determine the scholarships based solely on your admission document. So, we've already asked you for your transcripts, and so we can determine your GPA, any kind of test scores that you may have. And so there's no additional application. And the other thing about these is they are automatic. If you qualify for the award, you get the award. So can you go back to that slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So here they are. There's 4 different awards, and I'm sorry, I need to look at the computer screen for them. The first one is the International Regent Scholarship. That has an estimated value of $11,718 a year, and what that means is that is a full tuition scholarship. Okay. I would say that this one is unique in that, first of all, the generosity of it. A full tuition scholarship is, in my experience, pretty rare at public universities in the U.S. for international students. But there's also the caveat that we only award 5 of these each year. So every year we will have 5 new recipients of this award if we get 5 people who qualify. The award is renewable for 4 years, so that means that you don't just get this award in your first year. If you maintain good grades on campus and you maintain your eligibility for the scholarship, you will keep this award. You can renew it for up to 4 years, so that means you'd have it for your whole program. The second scholarship is the International Academic Excellence Award. Again, this is based on strictly your academic merit. There is no limit to the number of these scholarships that we can offer. So again, anybody who meets the criteria and they apply within the deadline, they're going to get this award. If you think back to what we showed you earlier about the costs, $8,000 of a tuition scholarship is roughly 2/3 of your tuition and fees. So that's roughly a 66% tuition scholarship that you would be eligible for. Again, the Academic Excellence Award is renewable for up to 4 years, so it's something that you can have for your entire program.
And just to add that the Regent Scholarship deadline is December 1st, so it's coming up very soon, so think about it. And the Academic Excellence Award, also the deadline for the fall will be March 1st. So you still have time, but it's better also to apply early.
And I should mention too that the Regents Award, the big full tuition scholarship award, has one other unique quality about it in that it's only available to students who are beginning in the fall. So unfortunately, if you're a student and you're looking to begin your academic program in our spring semester in January, that scholarship is not available to you. So all of the other scholarships, it doesn't matter if you begin in the fall or the spring, you can get that scholarship. But the Regents, you have to be a first-time freshman in the fall. Can you go back to that?
Yes, to this one.
Yeah. Okay, the Regents is the full scholarship. The Academic Excellence Award is the 2/3 scholarship. And then we have the International Achievement Award. That is, again, you could be a spring or a fall matriculant, but the value of that scholarship is based on the difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition. In case you're not aware, public universities in the U.S. get a certain amount of their funding from the state government. That means that if you are a citizen of that state and your family is from that state and you pay taxes in that state, you get a certain tuition rate as being somebody who's in that state. Anybody else, whether you're international or from Illinois or some other state in the U.S., you have a non-resident or an out-of-state tuition rate. So public universities typically have an in-state tuition rate and an out-of-state tuition rate. Our International Achievement Award scholarship would allow you as an international student to pay the same tuition as an in-state resident. So that as well is based on academic merit. It is available to anybody beginning in January or August, and there is no deadline for that scholarship. If you get admitted at any point and you qualify for that scholarship, you're going to get it. And then our final scholarship is the International Student Scholarship. That is a $2,000 tuition scholarship. Basically, you need a 2.5 GPA to get that. So anybody who applies and is accepted to us with a 2.5 GPA or higher will get some kind of a scholarship. Okay, you want to go to that?
Yes.
Here is a little bit more detail about the criteria for the scholarships. And again, so you see the 4 levels of scholarships. You got the International Regents Award across the top. You've got the Academic Excellence one, second, the International Achievement Award. And the way to think about this is to qualify for one of these scholarships, you have to meet 2 different criteria. The first one is always your GPA or your grade point average. We convert non-U.S. Grade points and credentials into a U.S. 4-point scale. And so when we make that conversion, that's what we assess your scholarship eligibility on. So first you have to have the grades. And for the International Region Scholarship, you need to have a minimum of a 3.7 GPA on a 4-point scale. Again, these are really high GPAs. We're really hoping to attract high quality, really strong students. So we require that high of a GPA of 3.7. Now, if you have the GPA, you have to meet one other criterion, and that is for the Region Scholarship, you have to have an ACT or SAT score. You can see there that the SAT score would be a 1280 or higher on the most recent with the e-writing and the math, or a 27 on the ACT. Okay, so again, as long as you meet those criteria, you've got the 3.7 GPA and you've got a qualifying ACT or SAT score, you get that scholarship, assuming you are a fall matriculant and you apply by December 1st. Now, the second one, the International Academic Excellence Award, that is the 2/3 scholarship. I'm going down the list here. It basically has the same criteria as the Regent Scholarship, but the differences are you can get this scholarship if you are a spring matriculant. The deadline is different, so if you wanted to qualify for the Regents, the full tuition award, you have to apply by December 1st, 9 months ahead of when you would start in August of the following year. For the Academic Excellence Award, the deadline is much different. You need to apply by March 1st. So if you miss that December 1st deadline, you are still able to qualify for this 2/3 scholarship if you apply by March 1st. The other difference is maybe you don't, excuse me, maybe you don't have an SAT or ACT score. If that is the case, you can also qualify. You need the GPA and a SAT score or ACT score, or a higher TOEFL or IELTS score, or increased English proficiency. Our admission requirements are 5.5 on the IELTS or 61 on the TOEFL. So you can qualify for this scholarship by having a 6.5 on the IELTS or a 79 on the TOEFL. We recognize that not all countries take the SAT, or maybe you don't have access to it. And so you can demonstrate your qualification for this award by having exceptional English language skills. Now, I will mention that if you come from a school where English is the sole medium of instruction, meaning if you're from Canada or Ireland or Australia or somewhere where it's a native English-speaking country for the most part, you will need to take the SAT or the ACT. We're not going to award you for higher English proficiency if you're from an English-speaking country. So a couple of things to keep in mind about that.
And also, sorry to cut you, but also for those who are interested in applying for Fall 18, if you are planning to take your test score or your exam this month in December, in this coming month, you still can apply. You can apply as long as you get your test done in the month of December. So if it is after December 31st, we will not be able to accept that test for the Regent scholarship. If you are thinking or you think you are qualified for the Regent scholarship, just to keep in mind. So December 1st is the deadline, but you still can take the test during that month and still qualify for the scholarship. Okay,
and that's good to know. That now, do they have to have the rest of their application in and complete?
They need to submit the application and then submit everything later if they have to.
Okay.
If they didn't.
Okay, so that's an important point, because I believe December 2nd is a big SAT test date.
And that's why we opened it for students through the month of December, because we know some students have to take it either on December 1st or December 2nd. So you still have the chance to get the scholarship by taking the exam in that month.
And they can wait to apply for everything until December, or they need to have their online application in first?
They need to submit their online application, but the other documents they can submit it later.
Okay, so that's a very, very good point. So just to reiterate, the deadline to apply for the full tuition Regent Scholarship is December 1st if you want to be a fall 2018 recipient. If you are taking the SAT score on December 2nd, you're still eligible for this award, but you need to have the rest of your application in. Take the SAT score on December 2nd, get that test score to us by the end of December, and you will be qualified for the award.
Yes.
Good. Very good to know. Okay, so as we move down the list, the third scholarship is the International Achievement Award. That's the equivalent of in-state tuition. The GPA requirement for that is 3.2. So the other two scholarships required a 3.7. The In-State International Achievement Award requires a 3.2 and either a SAT or SAT score that are a little bit lower than the other ones, or again, a higher English proficiency, whether it's the TOEFL or IELTS, a 69 on the TOEFL or a 6.0 on the IELTS. So the GPA and then one of those four other things can qualify you for that. We also say that Eshraq mentioned it earlier, that for those of you who have not completed your English proficiency scores yet, or you haven't taken the TOEFL, we have a CEA-accredited intensive English program. If a student with a 3.2 GPA in high school finishes our intensive English program, that can be the second qualification for the scholarship. So SAT score, higher TOEFL or IELTS, or completion of our intensive English language program, that would qualify you for the scholarship. As for the $2,000 International Student Scholarship, the only thing you need to do to qualify for that is to have a 2.5 or higher. So again, we have a 2.0 admission threshold for GPA, but anybody who has a 2.5 or higher will receive some kind of a scholarship. I would mention that the International Achievement Award and the International Student Scholarship are also eligible or available to transfer students. So maybe you have higher education experience in your country or in the U.S., you can come in with the same qualifications, you can receive those awards. Now, I would mention that if you are a recipient of one of these awards as a transfer student, it's only available for 2 years. So the idea is you would complete about half of your higher education before transferring here, and then you can get that award for 2 years.
So Kevin mentioned a little bit about the accreditation. So that's for our intensive English program. But for Southeast, many of our colleges or program have, prestigious accreditations. For example, our business college, it has AACSB accreditation, it has APET accreditation, and an IBS accreditation. So when you look at the university, as Kevin mentioned earlier, we are not one of the top 100 or more universities in the US or around the world, but we have different programs within our university, or different colleges within our university that have their own accreditation, and they are well known nationally and internationally, and our Business of College is one of those programs that are very well known. We also have our the River Campus. We have our own River Campus that's for students who are interested in arts, and that's very special. You will not find other universities, or very few universities, who have their dedicated campus just for art. So if you are interested in dance, theater, or music, or painting, we have that campus for you that's full of, materials and professors and classes, everything. You get the hands-on experience in that one.
And just to expand on that, it really is a spectacular campus. That it used to be a seminary where people from the area would come and train to be religious leaders, but the seminary went out of business or closed their school several years ago. I'm not exactly sure of that history of it. But Southeast Missouri State purchased the land, purchased the building, put millions of dollars into renovating it and creating a standalone performing arts, visual and performing arts campus. So for the students who are interested in, it's called the School of Visual and Performing Arts, you have your own campus. It's still integrated into the campus. We have a free shuttle that students can get from main campus to the river campus. It's not too terribly far away. But it's a site that the students have all different kinds of performances. They bring in national touring theatrical events and musical performances. And as Eshraq mentioned, that they give degrees like Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Fine Arts and in all these different visual and performing arts disciplines. And typically one would have to go to a bigger city or a standalone type of school in order to do this, which makes those types of programs much, much more expensive. And so for us as a regional institution, to have such a high-quality visual and performing arts school is unique. You get a top-notch education in unbelievable facilities with unbelievable instruction at a fraction of the cost as you would pay at a lot of other institutions for a similar type of program in the U.S. So if you are the kind of person who is interested in theater and music and dance and the visual sculpture and woodwork and things like that, this is absolutely a great place for you to develop those skills and get a degree.
And they also give the student the opportunity to go to the bigger cities to perform, or at least to see the behind the scene of the shows like New York City or California. So you will get that opportunity also to go and see those performances live and to interact with other people. So there are so many opportunities with that college that you will get to learn from. We also have different facilities in the university. For example, we have the Evolution Center for our education major students. We have all the new technology that we are the only one within the state that we have those technologies. It's up to date, that students can use to prepare for their lessons when they go for their practicum. They have their 3D machines that they would use. Any new program that you think of that you could use for education, they use it. They have every education major must have their iPad because they will use that a lot. You know how the education is different now, and new students demand or depend on technology a lot. So we are trying to prepare our students, our education major students, who will be a future teachers, to use those technologies to keep up with the updated and with the current need from the new generation. So that's one thing also to think about. And we offer over 200 programs of that you will study, whether it is business, sciences, technologies, liberal arts, education, you name it. There is so many opportunities for you to do. For example, if you choose to use to be a science major, you could within the biology program you could choose from biology, biomedical, or the biotechnology. Also, you can major in biology and maybe do a minor in chemistry, DNA. So there are different opportunities for you. And you get also, if you are a biology especially biology, biomedical sciences, you get to do internship maybe in one of our big hospitals here in Cape. We have 2 hospitals that many of our students go and intern in there, so they get the hands-on experience also. We do have our new program, the industrial engineering program.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's solely engineering program. We
have 2 engineering programs. There's engineering, physics, and systems and industrial engineering.
And within the engineering physics, also we have different emphasis. This one. We have
which one?
Physics. Then the physics.
Engineering physics is right there.
Yeah. So we have the computer application, electrical application, and the mechanical application. So you get to choose which program you are very interested in. And beside that, we have also the engineering technology with 2 different options, the mechanical manufacturing system and the electrical and control. So if you...
And we also have technology management programs as well. So for people who are interested in managing technology programs as an employment opportunity, we have really good technology management programs, and the options in there are computer network systems administration, construction management and design, facilities management and sustainability, industrial and safety management, and sustainable engineering system management. So if you recall back to the page about our accreditations, these are all ABET accredited. So again, that tells you it's a high quality, it's a recognized program, and lots of different options to study in there.
Yeah, and this is a slide that shows the popular degrees that we offer. And cybersecurity is one of the popular and very attractive programs, especially for international students. And they offer, like, it's one of the top cybersecurity programs within the country. So it's something also, if you are really interested in that field, something to look at. And you can always contact us when we provide you with more information, or you can go to our website and find the degree map for those programs, and you will see the specific courses that you will study and see if that's really what you want to do or something different. That will help you learn more about the program from the courses that are offered.
And I think it might be useful to make sure there aren't any questions to just kind of, I'll go down a list of some of our popular programs in the different areas. So as Eshraq mentioned, in the College of Business, we have AACSB accreditation. That's only top 5% of business colleges worldwide have AACSB accreditation. So again, high level, rigorous, great academic programs. And there's a lot of different specialties in the College of Business, including accounting and finance and entrepreneurship, marketing, hospitality management is in the College of Business. In the College of Health and Human Services, if you're interested in different things, we have things like athletic training, communication disorders, health management, health sciences. We've got nursing programs, sports management. In College of Liberal Arts, mass communications is a very good program. We have global cultures and language. We have mass communication, psychology, philosophy, political science, things like that. We've spent a lot of time talking about our science, technology, and agriculture programs, the biology stuff, the chemistry stuff, commercial multimedia, info systems, computer science. One thing we haven't talked about are our programs in unmanned aircraft. Yeah. So we're one of the few programs or universities in the country that offers a bachelor's degree in drone technology, unmanned aircraft. So that is a growing field. There's a lot of stuff to be done in that area. And
the GIS program also. The
Geographic Info Sciences, very good math programs, actuarial sciences, applied math and statistics, public health, technology management, and again, I mentioned in the School of Visual and Performing Arts, we've got ceramics, digital arts, fibers, graphic design, painting, printmaking, sculpture, dance, music, theater, Yeah.
Yeah, and we have several questions.
Oh, good.
Yeah. From the Facebook page, there is a question. Do you consider GMAT score? If yes, what is the average? We use GMAT score for the graduate programs only, not for undergraduate, and it depends on what program you are interested in. If you are interested in business, yes, we do require GMAT, which is the minimum 500. There are other programs that they will look at the GMAT score or GRE if your GPA is below the required one. So very few programs who require GMAT or GRE, but also it depends on what program you're interested in. So if you have any specific program in mind, I can tell you exactly if that program requires GMAT or GRE or not.
But GMAT is typically the business school, the MBA admission test, and because we are AACSB accredited, we do require a GMAT. As Eshraq mentioned, it's a minimum of 500 on the GMAT for direct admission. You can get provisional admission into the MBA program with a lower GMAT score. Provisional admission would mean you still get your I-20, but you have 1 semester or 1 year to maintain grades in order to stay in the program. So, yeah, for the business program, definitely a GMAT or GRE is required. And as she mentioned too, in our tech management, what they have is if you have a high GPA, they're not going to require a GRE. But if you have a lower GPA, they need something else to say, is this person a qualified student? Are they going to be successful in this program? So with the lower GPA, they'll admit you if you have a GRE score as well. So each program is a little bit different. We have a website with all that information. You can email us, international@cmo.edu, and we'd be happy to provide that information to you directly.
There is another question also. It says, do I have to mail my documents to the university before December 1st in order to be considered for the Regent scholarship? So when you fill out the online application, you have the opportunity to upload all the documents needed in the supplemental items. And that's why we are trying to make it easier on you. And instead of mailing the document, you can upload them all. Once you are admitted, you can request the test center that you took your test from to send us the test score directly, and you can mail us your official transcript. But that will be after you are admitted. But upload everything into application, and if you have any problem, then you can email us the documents, but you don't have to send anything by mail for now.
And just to clarify that, we want it to be as easy for you as possible to apply to us. And we want to be able to make a decision about your admission as quickly as possible so we can get you that I-20 and you can go apply for your visa. So with that in mind, we've just moved to this system this year where the application is all online. You have the ability to scan your official documents, upload them into the application, and we will make decisions about your admission based on the unofficial documents. They're unofficial to us because we don't have them in our hands and we can't authenticate them. But we will make a decision on those unofficial documents as long as you get them to us before December 1st. We don't need the originals. At that point, we just need you to give us the scanned copies of them. But before you come, you do need to send us those originals. So that will be further down the road. You can get the stuff uploaded into the application by December 1st. Have the SAT score or whichever score you're taking on December 2nd, have those sent to us by the testing companies. We'll be happy to make that decision at that point. If you're admitted, if you're accepted, if you get the scholarship, we're going to say, please send us those official documents before you arrive. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and I think you answered the other part of the question, but I will read it just to make sure. I have been uploading the documents into my account until now, so do I have to mail them, or would those work until I could get them officially sent?
Yeah.
So I think Kevin already mentioned it. You don't have to send anything. You just upload them as you did, and we will make a decision based on that. After admitting you, then you will be required to send them.
Right. So send them later. Get us the unofficials. Upload it into the application, the scanned copies, and then we'll make the decision. And if you get accepted, then you send them to us later.
We have 5 minutes. If anyone have any question, we will be happy to answer it.
A couple of things to kind of keep in mind. I don't know what the we do have a requirement for students who come as an undergraduate, as a first-time freshman. You're required to live on campus for 2 years. Yeah. There's very good reasons behind that. It's been demonstrated time and time again that the students who live on campus are more connected with the campus and the community. They're meeting more people. They're more engaged in student activities and employment and things like that. So please realize that is a requirement. You do have the ability to get out of your housing requirement with good grades after 1 year. So if you've had no disciplinary issues or any kind, you haven't gotten in any trouble, and you have good grades, I think it's a 3.25.
I think.
A 3.25 GPA after your first year, then you're eligible to move off campus because you've demonstrated to us this person doesn't necessarily need to be watched, and they're already well integrated into campus and doing well in their classes. Also, if you are from a TPS country, a temporary protected status like Nepal, we recognize that finances may be difficult because of the economic situation of your country, and if you are from a TPS designated country, you have the ability to move off campus after 1 semester. So again, anybody, the idea is you live there for your first 2 years or until you turn 21, or maybe if you're married, you can move off campus. But otherwise, good grades and good discipline will get you out after 1 year, and if you're TPS, you can be out after 1 semester. Any other questions? Or?
We don't have any other questions. We would like to thank you for attending our webcast, and we are always here for you. So if you have any question, you can contact us at international.edu, that's cimo.edu, international@cimo.edu, and we will be happy to answer any question for you. And just a reminder, the deadline for the Regent Scholarship is December 1st, so the time is ticking. So if you are interested in that and you think you are qualified, apply by December 1st.
Yeah, and just again to reiterate, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to Eshraq and I talk about the institution. I hope we were able to make the case to you that Southeast is a place that will support you. We have exceptional leadership development opportunities, real-world experience opportunities. We feel like we are incredibly generous in the merit-based scholarships that we give. I hope that you're doing your research. Making a decision about what institution you're going to choose is a very big decision, one that you should not take lightly. And I hope in your research you have found that we offer incredibly competitive and generous scholarships. And the reason that we do this is because we want the best and the brightest to come here, because we know that we can give you the experience that you're going to need to be successful later on, whether it's in further academics or in employment or just leaders of your families and communities. So please, we hope to make good on that promise to help you be succlive. And we are always happy to answer any questions that you may have. Eshraq gave you the email, and you can get it on CollegeWeekLive. And thanks again. Appreciate your attention.
Thank you for attending.